Hey, so I want to talk about EverQuest, and this is Basket. Say hi, Basket. So for EverQuest, I kind of want to talk about like its past, its present, and its future. And as dramatic as that sounds, it's probably not that dramatic. EverQuest continues to flirt with EverQuest 3, but if that's why you came to this video, because I'm going to be talking about EverQuest 3, I have no new information and I don't want you to feel clickbaited. So I just want to talk about it a little bit and some new revelations and thoughts that I've come to. So it's opinion about EverQuest 3. We're also going to be talking about the EverQuest progression server. So let's get into all of that fun stuff. And I think Basket's mad that I don't have new info. She's scratching the wall and she's just leaving. Okay. But I also have something just insanely freaking cool that if you're a fan of EverQuest, you're not gonna want to miss. It's all in here. You'll see it later in the video. First, let's talk about the past. And by the past, I mean the annual tradition of rushing to the new Chrono Farm. I mean progression server. So essentially, it's present, as well as the annual release of a new expansion come December. Jokes aside, progression servers in EverQuest have essentially been my EverQuest home really since about 2006 all the way through about 2020, even to more recently playing on the Teak server, which I found a lot of enjoyment in just kind of taking things slow and getting lots of really cheap loot from all the people that were selling it on the bazaar. Stuff like from raids that I never would have gotten otherwise on the Teak server because I have no time to play games anymore. Honestly, those progression servers are kind of the nearest thing you're gonna get now in like 2025 to experiencing an EverQuest launch, because just the sheer number of people that rush into the game with this new fresh start of a server. But of course, the fact that it's a solved game and many people are going for other reasons like selling Chrono, which we joked about, but it is an actual issue on these servers, and one I noticed more on Teak than on previous servers. It's still a fun time to get to go together, especially with a group of friends, and experience that early rush of zones that you knew full of people. But there's some interesting tweaks and things in this new progression server that might make that better or worse, depending. There's gonna be a whole lot more zones to play in. The server will be named Fangbreaker. Yes, just one server as far as we know. It'll be using an expanded start, a new rule set that seems to kind of be built on the old Vaniki server. Fangbreaker will start with up to Lucklin unlocked, but it will be level locked at level 50. This changes a lot. First, endgame Lucklin, Canark, and Velius will likely be massive challenges for guilds who want to try and push those or attempt them without the benefit of those extremely useful 10 levels. I have no idea, for example, how anyone's going to do Avatar of War without defensive discipline. But you know what? Someone will probably surprise me and do it. But it also means that you'll get to pick your leveling route through the game. Canark, Lucklin, maybe spend some time leveling in Eastern Waste and Velius. This alone actually has me interested enough to try the server before we get into some of the other stuff the server's doing. I want to see how this works out, having all of these places to level open and all of that extra gear, as well as content that is available from the start. Content that will remain mostly unchanged until February of next year, as incrementally the game will increase its level cap up until November 13th. Yes, no expansion drops from May 2025 until February of 2026, though you could argue that the gradual level cap increase throughout the year kind of unlock Canark, Velius, and Lucklin's higher level areas and raids. In addition, there will be a resource hunter rule set on the server, which gives certain zones the ability to become hot zones for the day, or get other bonuses. Honestly, this is yet another feature I really wanted for a long time, updating that hot zone formula to roll through zones faster, encouraging people to play in the zone they may not have before. My biggest hope here is that it'll include a wide variety of zones, which sounds like they will, because it's going to be totally randomized and it's going to happen every 24 hours. And it'll be so randomized that there is the possibility you could actually have the same zone get a bonus or two different bonuses one day after the other. But you won't get any wasted days of hot zones in like the Nexus. And there's a few other zones that they're excluding as well, but it sounds like it's going to be a very broad thing where there's lots of bonuses all over the world. And you notice that it's kind of broad, because it sounds like you're not going to be worrying about everyone clamoring into the same zone either, because at launch, they're going to have dozens of these, day one. So seemingly you'll have lots of these bonuses across level ranges. This will expand as more expansions unlock to account for the larger number of zones. And it won't just be experience either. It can be experience, AA experience, loot, coin, rare NPC spawns, reduced NPC spawn times, etc. And if there's reduced spawn times in freaking Chardock at level 50, holy shit, everyone's dead. You'll be able to find out what the zone's bonus is when you zone in for the first time. Honestly, this will be really interesting to see in practice because it's taking some of the other stuff where like server-wide bonuses in the past and making them zone specific, encouraging people to go around the world of Norrath, which I think is a good thing because there's a lot of underutilized zones that are much cooler than I think a lot of people give credit for throughout these early expansions. Legacy characters will exist as well, including personas being essentially the same character but separate class that you can swap into from that character in a safe zone. Essentially, every time you max level a character or a persona, you get 10% bonus experience buff for your account. 2 max level characters would then be 20%, up to a max of 100%. Other than that, they're bringing back encounter locking instead of DPS racing. NPCs can't be locked on spawn as they have a short random duration before they are lockable. Other things that have been standard like True Box rules, Agent of Change, and pick zones are also all a part of Fangbreaker. True Box turns off for Fangbreaker with the Planes of Power. I think when you look at this server together, it's got some interesting things going for it. I personally definitely want to try it. I don't think it'll pull anyone away from Teak, who's currently there. Having a no trade server is going to be difficult to pull away from. There's a reason why Teak was such a large server for them last year, and it's not that old if you think about it. But at the same time, I still think this server sounds like it could be fun for a while. And I'll definitely jump in and see how much enjoyment I get out of this new rule set and if it fits with me. But I mentioned something pretty freaking epic that you would really like if you're a fan of EverQuest. And it all comes courtesy of a wonderful, incredible artist who does EverQuest art and sent me this package. All of this art that you're about to see comes courtesy of Red Frog. Unnamed Sequel is their website, and I will link it down below so you can get some of your own art if you want to. I found their website on a chance a while, like over a year ago, I think at this point, and I was amazed by their art, which you'll see why right here. Now those are both prints that he has available, but this one's special, and it's honestly a bit emotional that they would take so much time and so much effort to put into this. Fuck, I'm actually getting emotional just talking about it. Because obviously this is a connection through EverQuest where we both love this game so much, and I am always in awe of the artistic talents that people like this show, and I'm just really amazed. And so I'm happy to share and show you this now as I fucking drop it on the floor. Honestly, it looks better in person. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I wanted to say something witty, something about necromancers or EverQuest, but just, god damn, man, it's just talent, you know? Go check out his website. Thank you so much to Red Frog for that, because it's just I am just honored, like beyond honored. And I'm glad I got to share that in this little EverQuest video with you all. I was trying to think, where do I put this? Where do I show this in a video? And this made the most sense, especially as we're talking about the past, present, and now the future of EverQuest, because I want to talk a little bit about EverQuest 3. At the outset, I mentioned that one of the things I wanted to talk about was EverQuest and EverQuest 3. To this point, I have been extremely excited about this. I want a new EverQuest MMO, and I think their current inkling to go toward a remake rather than an ambitious MMO is right on the money. Hell, if the Oblivion remaster showed us anything, a graphical overhaul can do a whole lot to bring people back to try things. But, and this is a big, big but, in the wake of RuneScape launching their new survival game, I've really been thinking hard about EG7 and their current status, and where the EverQuest IP stands. It has now been over 2 decades since the last EverQuest IP game was launched. It's been a long time since stuff like this was launched to really show EverQuest and the IP and get people interested in the game. To get that kind of stuff now, you don't go into a store, you go to a comic book convention, or you go to eBay. And all of this has me wondering, for a project that's targeting a budget that starts about 30 million and goes up from there to an undetermined amount, and was wanted to be done in 3 years starting this year, wouldn't it have been easier and perhaps better to use their time to reinvigorate the IP with, say, Champions of Norrath 3 or Lords of EverQuest 2? Okay, probably not. Probably not Lords of EverQuest 2. I think if there's any genre that's like fighting with the MMO genre to see which one is going to like screech towards irrelevance first, it's probably the real-time strategy genre. No offense if that's your favorite genre, it's just perhaps not in the best place at the moment. But basically a game that brings people to Norrath, that shows people the world, the lore, the characters, and the reason for the game existing, without the extreme overhead and expectations of an MMO. I think at times, especially those of us that really like the IP, the MMO, or have really fond memories of it, we may underestimate the importance of a world, of something that's more than just the systems that go into it. Those systems can carry, but they still need backing to make it worthwhile. It's a very competitive space in gaming right now. It needs to be fully fleshed out. And then once you have that, once you have some kind of success there with that game, with that smaller game that was easier to manage, that cost less, and you get the IP out there a bit more, that's when you make and announce the EverQuest 1 remake. It's EverQuest Reborn. But you know what? Maybe I'm just getting greedy and I want just more EverQuest shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much thought and hope into the IP. Maybe because I have a blind spot and a bias towards lore and character building and world building versus raiding. Although I did enjoy that, it's still like I enjoyed it because I got to see the characters and the deities that I read about as a kid. Killing Inaruk was really important to me because I understood that he was the prince of hate, you know? And as this, it obviously meant a lot to me to go and kill the god of hate and the creator of my character. But this is where I want to ask you specifically, just you and I, what do you think? Because I'm just one person. I'm just one person. I have my own biases and my own thoughts and everything like that. I want to hear from you. Would you like to get a Champions of Norrath 3, or would you rather they put all of their efforts, all of their meager efforts, into creating an EverQuest remake, essentially trying to rebuild EverQuest 1 from the ground up, but using EverQuest 1 as the basis? I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, I encourage disagreement, but the only thing I ask is don't be a dick to each other. Just be nice. Just kindness is a good thing, you know, in general. Anyway, Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Red Frog. Again, his art is linked down below. It's not just EverQuest. EverQuest is obviously going to be the most important to anyone really watching this video, but there's a ton of other game art, and just go check out their art, because it's like, what, it's so good. I appreciate talent so much, and seeing that artistic talent, it's just something really special. And I don't want to get too much too like sappy and stuff like that, but receiving that as a content creator who just makes silly videos, you know, it meant a lot. It meant a whole lot. So thank you so much. My name is Redbeard Flynn. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon.